Hello indie game fans! It's been a while since we last took a look at upcoming indie games outside of the summer showcases, where I have a whole bunch of them that are currently on Kickstarter, so support them as you see fit and help an indie dev out. Let's begin with Rōnin Trail, a gorgeous open-world action title where you play as the Rōnin in the aftermath of a war where your skills are no longer needed and you need to forge your own path ahead. You are travelling to the city of Edo in hopes of a better life, having to take on side missions along the way in order to keep yourself fed. But I really love the look of this, mixing voxel characters with more classic 3D graphics, resulting in quite a unique look, where mixing and matching like this is something interesting to try if you're an indie game developer. I don't know quite what to make of Corpse Keeper, since the developers themselves describe this as an action strategy dungeon crawler where you raise a party of 3 undead warriors to help you battle your way forward. Combat does appear to be more like a 1v1 fighting game where you can parry, dodge and roll, but what is unclear is whether these correspond to button inputs like a fighting game, or if your units are automatically fighting, with you just having to time special abilities. It has quite an interesting look as well, not exactly pretty and modern, but not super retro as well, making this a curiosity. This video is brought to you by Blood of Yamin, a pixel art Metroidvania title that has quite an interesting setting. While it looks like your standard grimdark fantasy entry, it does have a twist, but more on that later. At the outset, mankind has just learned to harvest the essence of a dead god and uses that to power their innovation and industry, and as such, the world is on the cusp of the Industrial Revolution, so perhaps we might get some steam-powered weapons and inventions as well, not to mention the potential for interesting enemy and environmental design. You can choose to be part of one of 3 guilds where there's something sinister lurking deep underground, looking like a promising entry worth keeping an eye on. Check out their Twitter, Instagram, wishlist the game on Steam, and follow them on Kickstarter for updates on when their campaign is live, links in the description below, so here's wishing them the best of luck with development. While I quite like the look and premise of this game, being a big farming sim person myself, what the hell kind of name is the God's Fabled Soil Frontier? Maybe I'm missing something, but it doesn't make a lick of sense to me, but title aside, I do think that it looks pretty decent and could have potential. You have answered a call for help and travelled to an abandoned town, having to help the mayor breathe new life into the land and to try to restore the town back to its former glory. So far, so standard. However, there are fantasy elements with what appears to be orcs or goblins, as well as elves shown in this trailer, where there is also optional combat in this game. But what I love the most are the chickens, so check this out and support this solo developer. We have quite a number of roguelite and tactics games in this video, with Ruadh Warbands being one such entry, a hex-based strategy title where you're assembling your own warband, leading them and fighting off threats to your homeland. It has a fairly standard setup of having to unite the 5 tribes to fight against a great evil, with some very pretty hand-drawn art, but what kills me is that they've opted to use tokens to represent units on the battlefield, which is not ideal in my opinion, but there have been games that successfully managed to do that, so I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, where I hope that the tactics and strategy portion will be sufficiently deep mechanically. I've mentioned Kandria on this channel before, where this is a pixel art Metroidvania with a decent look, set in the post-apocalypse and is already fully funded. You play as an android who reawakens into the world that has already been destroyed, having to find out what happened and to figure out your own path in life. In addition to the free-flowing parkour movement and agile combat, you can also chill out and go fishing, or simply sit down and relax, looking to be quite a different type of Metroidvania. This takes inspiration from Nier Automata, Celeste and Another World, looking like quite the interesting combination, where apparently this will be released in November this year, making it one to watch. A neat-looking Paper Mario-inspired RPG is Tales from Alteria, where you follow twin foxes journeying across the world as it comes to an end. They're trying to stop an extra-dimensional evil from manifesting in the world, having to work together to defeat all sorts of monsters. It has quite an interesting papercraft look mixed with 3D environments and enemies, with the expected action turn-based combat that the Mario and Luigi series made famous. This is at 57% funding as of recording, with just 13 days left to go, so it's a toss-up on whether or not this gets funded, but I do hope it does since it looks interesting.
Our god is no more, and we are the ones who killed him. Once every 10 years, 4 Vestals shall hail from the 4 lands: Sentia, Delhem, Flamen, and our home, Ashrim. As punishment for our ancestral sin, only one pair of soiled hands will hold the salvation we desperately seek.
You poor girls, sent here to die.
Through your sacrifice, may our people atone. Through your fratricide, may life be reborn.
We have to save them!
For the Vestal! For Ashram!
This world is nothing but an endless hell.
This is where it ends.
I will not yield!
I pity you.
How could I manage to save you? To save them all?
And put an end to all this madness.
Kill me now,
Your
Andorra.
lies end now! O ancient sin, grant us this holy pardon, so that we may one day mend our shattered heaven.
Let's kick off the top 3 with Shattered Heaven, a gorgeous hand-drawn roguelite deck builder set in a dark fantasy world and has a branching narrative as well. Reductively, it looks to be combining the arts of something like Ash of Gods Redemption with the structure of Darkest Dungeon and the gameplay of Slay the Spire, where this developer did work on the mystery visual novel title Dry Drowning from 2019, which was well received, so the writing in this game should be good as well.
How I wish I could let you slumber beneath the soil for another season. But life has need of you, so you must wake up.
Another roguelite deck builder of interest is Aces and Adventures, one that looks more like a classic collectible card game and thus use poker mechanics as the basis for its combat. It has 5 playable characters, 13 campaigns and 4 different types of games or modes, looking to have quite the amount of content, and comes to us from the developer of Pop-Up Dungeon, which was great, so I do have confidence in this game. I didn't manage to cover this during the Steam Next Festival, but its demo is still up and has been very well received, so I would implore you to give this a try, and if you like what you see, do check out the campaign page for stretch goals and rewards.
And take courage as you draw the next card from the deck of fate. Now, arise. The seasons are changing. Warmth won't be free for long.
A very special mention goes to The White Raven, an awesome looking pixel art tactical RPG that comes to us from a developer from my home country of Singapore. I've previewed this in the past and was in love with the pixel art, but we've got even more glimpses of that in this new trailer. If you're Asian like me, and presumably these developers as well, you will know that video games and game development is not a particularly easy career path, which is why I'm always rooting for the underdogs and wish them the best, taking the number 1 spot. For more tactics titles, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.